It has everything to do with the MTA raising $1 billion in revenue so that it can borrow $15 billion more.
New York Governor Kathy Hochul, who's one of the worst of the worst, I usually refer to her as Kathy C. Word. You may have heard she brought in this idea of congestion pricing, where they were going to charge cars $15 to get into New York City. Now, of course, the irony of this is the progressives, what are they for? They're for poor people. Well, congratulations. You're a poor guy who lives in, say, Hackensack, New Jersey, and you've got a job in New York City. Congratulations. You got to pay $15 every day to get in there. Well, she got some pushback. And, well, first, let's take a look at her announcing the congestion pricing.
And so it begins. New York City will be the first city in America to charge Americans just to go to work in the morning.
Very first state in the nation, the very first city in America to have a congestion pricing plan.
Americans will have to pay around $23 per day.
Here's Representative Mike Lawler. He went on Joe Scarborough's show over there on you know where, and talks about what a scam this whole freaking congestion pricing thing is.
Congressman, let's talk about congestion pricing now, and it's split a lot of New Yorkers, and I understand. I mean, it is really hard on commuters, and it's very difficult for a lot of people getting in and out of New York City that just can't afford this new tax. I do wonder, though, as you drive around New York, you look at it, seems like everything was built during the Depression, right? You know, it seems like so much of the infrastructure there is 70, 80, 90, 100 years old and needs updating, needs renovating. If not congestion pricing, then what do New Yorkers do? What do we all do to keep that infrastructure up to date?
Well, first, New York got $100 billion from the bipartisan infrastructure bill. And the state, frankly, has done a horrible job of releasing those funds for infrastructure improvements, not just in New York City, but across the state. Secondarily, the MTA, which is the worst run authority in America, and as I fundamentally believe needs an enema, the fact is the MTA loses $700 million a year from people who refuse to pay to ride the subway. They jump the turnstile. They refuse to pay. And in fact, you just saw a video of two men jumping the turnstile moments before a man was pushed right in front of an oncoming subway car. Fortunately, he survived. But the fact is, it encapsulates exactly what the problem is in New York and in the subway system. Crime is up on the subways. Murders are up over 60% on the subways. We saw a woman be burned alive. People do not feel safe to ride the subway system, which is part of the reason why revenue is down for the MTA. But let's be clear, this is a scam, congestion pricing. It has nothing to do with reducing congestion. It has nothing to do with the environment. It has everything to do with the MTA raising $1 billion in revenue so that it can borrow $15 billion more. This is an authority that is already tens of billions of dollars in debt and has individual borrowing authority. It needs to be completely overhauled. I absolutely agree there needs to be infrastructure upgrades, but this is a scam. The fact is, Governor Hochul is charging the average New Yorker $2,500 more to drive into the city to go to work on an annual basis. And meanwhile, she's spending billions of dollars in taxpayer money on free housing, clothing, food, education, and healthcare for illegal immigrants. So if we want to talk about priorities, if we want to talk about investing in New York's outdated and antiquated infrastructure, we have to look at how New York is spending its money to begin with. They've increased state spending from $178 billion just 4 years ago to $239 billion, and now they need another $1 billion from hardworking commuters. Doesn't make a lot of sense, Joe.
Hot diggity damn, a little sanity over on MSNBC. I don't know how anyone watches Scarborough, not just because of the lies and the propaganda and everything else, but he talks so slow and just loves to hear himself speak as he's leaning over because he's just talking like that. But yes, they have allowed these people in. They have destroyed the city services. They have created crime and the smell of weed everywhere, and that people are literally being burned alive on the subway and pushed in front of subway cars. And now it is literally a trend now. So many people have been pushed in front of subway cars that, well, take a look at my friend Clay Travis analyzing the absurdity of what's going on in the New York City subways right now.
I saw a picture that went viral. A lot of you probably saw it. In New York City, people are so afraid of being pushed in front of a subway car if they have to ride the subway that they're now all standing with their backs against the wall in the subway rather than stand anywhere close to the track because they're afraid that some crazy person might be coming by and shove them right in front of the subway as it comes in. That's a test of whether Democrat policies are working or not. In a lot of blue cities in America right now, a lot of you don't feel comfortable with your wife or your daughter or your granddaughter being out for a jog because you're worried something might happen to her in the neighborhood while she's going for a jog.
Yeah, that is just true. And it does not have to be this way. What was my favorite line when DeSantis was running for president? It didn't work out the way I wanted, although I'm obviously very happy about the Trump situation now. But DeSantis had a great line. Decline is a choice. It is a choice, and they have chosen it.